Hello, welcome and namaste. In this present lecture, I would like to present on 9 simple steps to solve numerical problems in physical chemistry. Why I am bringing this before you? Because students are committing a lot of mistakes while solving numerical problems in examinations. Either they are unable to identify the unknowns in the problems. They may be unable to find the suitable formula for the problem. And if everything is done properly and the final answer is maybe wrong, what are the reasons where the students are committing the mistakes? To avoid those mistakes, the students, if they are following these simple 9 steps, definitely they are able to solve the problems step by step. What are these 9 steps? These 9 steps are: the first one is read the question carefully. Do not worry by length or difficulty of a problem. Means that when the numerical problem is given, you have to read it very carefully. Don't worry about how much the lengthier the problem or difficulty of a problem. Next is, if the problem is very lengthier or it involves many more steps, just break down the question step by step to find what is important in the whole problem. Means that if a chemical equation is involved, identify all the species present with their states, that is solid, liquid, aqueous or gas. This is particularly, these physical states are important in thermodynamics, equilibrium and electrochemistry questions. Next is write down the balanced chemical equation if necessary, including the stoichiometry factors, that is what moles of A and B are the reactants and what moles of C and D are the products are involved in the reaction. As possibly you can write the stoichiometry equation if it is necessary for the problem. And the third important step is identify all the data given in the question, including any constants which are involved. This is most important because identifying the data given in the question, whereas in when you read the question, you should pick up the things that what are the data given in the problem, including any constants which are involved. Means that in physical chemistry problems, majority of the times it may require gas constant and 1 Faraday unit and Avogadro number, and the 1 mole of gas behaving ideally at 25 degrees Celsius and 1 bar pressure occupies 24.8 dm cube, and Planck's constant. Many more such constants may be required. Such constants you should have to identify, and also if these constants are given in the bracket in the numerical problem, and just think why these constants are useful for the solution is concerned. And the fourth step is convert all units to the one system. This is most important point of the solving numerical problems. Many students are ended up with the wrong answers because they are unable to convert the units into one system. It means that possibly you can convert the units into the SI system. Example, if there is a degree Celsius, you can convert it into Kelvin. If there is time in hours, you can convert it into seconds. Possibly means that in the equation, either in the numerator or denominator or only in the numerator, you can maintain the consistency of the units of the values. Watch out specially for standard state conditions such as enthalpy, entropy, energy, and free energy standard energy changes at standard conditions of 298 Kelvin and 1 bar pressure. Suppose if the gas constant is 0.08314 dm cube bar per Kelvin per mole used when the pressure is expressed in bar. Suppose if it is in joules, then you can take this R value in 8.314 joule per Kelvin per mole. This is most important. The same physical constants may be in different units. You have to maintain the consistency of the unit. For example, suppose if you are asked to calculate the volume occupied by 0.5 mole of nitrogen gas at 280 Kelvin and 0.93 bar using the ideal gas equation. The equation is PV is equal to nRT, you know this, and rearranging V should be calculated. Therefore, V is equal to nRT by P. Since P is the pressure of the gas is given in bar, so when the P pressure is in bar, therefore that this R value should be in terms of bar. Therefore, there are different values of R. Especially you have to take this value because this is in terms of dm cube bar per Kelvin per mole must be used, but not 8.314 joule per Kelvin per mole. This is most important step, that you have to bring the values into the same physical constants. After putting these values, definitely the possible units may be cancelled and finally ended up with value dm cube, because volume should be ended up with the volume unit, that is dm cube. If in the after substitution of all these values and physical and the units, and if you are ended up with the correct answer with the correct unit, that is most important. And the next fifth step is identify the unknown in the question. That is what quantity is being looked for specifically, means that what is being asked. Sometimes only one quantity may be asked, and sometimes two quantities may be asked, or two unknowns may be asked. Sometimes one unknown may be asked. To calculate that unknown, another unknown can be determined in the problem. Therefore, possibly you have to make a flow chart. What are the unknowns should be calculated in the question, and write down all required formula. The question will most likely involve just one or less likely more than one of these formulas. So this is another important step. You have to list out what are the formulas required to calculate the unknowns present in the problem. And the seventh important step is substitute the known data into the equation in step 6 above and solve for the unknown. Means that whatever the data you have collected and put into the formula, the required formula, and remember, if it is necessary, you can also rearrange the equation before substituting the numerical values. Write down your answer along with the appropriate unit. That is most important. Just don't write your answer as a number. Number should be tagged with the unit. That is most important. So some of the values do not have a units, they are dimensionless. In such a case, you just write a number. Say for example, to calculate the concentration of the H3O plus, if you are converting this into the pH, the pH value is dimensionless. Therefore, you are not supposed to write any unit for the pH. In such case, there is no problem. But if the final answer is ended with a particular unit, you are supposed to mention the unit along with the answer. That is most important. And reread the question and answer anything to the question. And to follow these simple 9 steps, I will give you one example or illustration how these 9 simple steps can be adopted to solve a simple numerical problem. A gas M occupying 2.5 dm cube at 0 degrees Celsius and 1 bar pressure is transferred to a 5.5 dm cube container where the pressure is 0.25 bar. In order for the gas in the new vessel to attain this pressure, what should be the temperature of the gas be? Here, first step is read the question carefully. Looks complicated, just break it down. I have read the question. This problem do not looks complicated, so that, and the second step is no balanced chemical equation is involved, because what should be the temperature of the gas is being asked, so there is no necessity of writing any chemical equation, so that step 2 can be skipped out. One species involved a gas, that is M gas is there, that is most important. So the chemical species present in this problem is in a gaseous state. Then identify data in the question. Yes, there is a gas, this occupying 2.5 dm cube, this is volume, so let this 2.5 dm cube as V1, and at 0 degrees Celsius, and the temperature at which this gas occupying is at 0 degrees Celsius, that let it be as T1, and pressure, and at 1 bar pressure, it is 2.5 dm cube of gas is occupying, so P1 is 1 bar, and V2 is equal to, where the pressure is 0.25, suppose is transferred to a 5.5 dm cube container where the pressure is 0.25 bar, means that the final volume, that is V2, is equal to 5.5 dm cube at the pressure of 0.25 bar. And the next is convert temperature to Kelvin. Here degree Celsius is given, better you can convert it into Kelvin, so that it should be 273 Kelvin. And find out what is the unknown here. There is only one unknown is being asked, that is what should the temperature of the gas be, so that the unknown is T2. Next is pressure, volume and temperature suggest that the required equation is this one, P1 V1 divided by T1 is equal to P2 V2 divided by T2. So this is the required equation, and before going to solve the equation, you have to rearrange the equation before substituting the numerical values. So what is being asked? T2 is being asked. So T2 I take it into the left hand side, and P1 V1 comes to the right hand side of the denominator, and this T1 of the left denominator of the left hand side term goes to the right hand side of the numerator term. So T2 is equal to, P2 value is 0.25 bar, and V2 is 5.5 dm cube, and T1 is equal to 273, P1 is 1 bar, V1 is 2.5 dm cube, and the final answer is T2 is equal to 150.15 Kelvin. Just think students, if you are not converted this degree Celsius into Kelvin, what would be your answer? You have find out P1, V1, P2, V2, all you have found out. But if you are could not able to convert this 0 degree Celsius into Kelvin, your answer should be 0, so that the conversion of the units is very important. So answer is temperature is 150.15 Kelvin. Now I notice that here bar and bar gets cancelled, dm cube and dm cube gets cancelled, and the final unit should be remained as Kelvin. So the temperature unit is Kelvin. So these are the very simple 9 steps to solve the numerical problems, and this is the 9 steps I have adopted for a simple problem. Even you can adopt it for any type of the problems, and keep practicing the problems by using these 9 simple steps. And thank you very much.